Hey, I'm live. Welcome into the Tuesday Tea with me, Christy. It is, if you're watching this live and you're not catching the replay, this is going to be the last Tuesday Tea of summer of 2024 scheduled live, because I am dressed today like this and not fully makeup like I normally do on my Tuesday Tea, because I'm about to take it's summertime. All right. So drop in the comments some changes to your schedule that are taking place at summertime. For me, I've decided on Tuesdays, Mila and I are going to go to the bouncy house. They have a toddler time on Tuesdays, and that's what we're going to do on Tuesdays. And I could pre-record this and do this, but for the summertime, I'm not. I will probably schedule some videos and have them pre-recorded and ready to drop come fall season, based on the books that we have over in our Facebook group after the Tuesday Tea. So add me to the After Tuesday Tea group and I'll add you over there. And I have up here the Dream Chaser, but that's not even actually what we're talking about today. Let's see if I can change that banner. It is inviting, excuse me. And that's what happened when I don't have my tea here with me this morning to drink. Coming from the book, Choose Your Enemies Wisely, Business Planning for the Audacious Few. And this is the very last chapter of this book that we're talking about, but it's enrolling people into your plan. All right, enrolling people into your plan. And no, this is not talking about enrolling people into your MLM or enrolling people into different kind of things, but it is enrolling people into excuse me, your plan. So let me change that right here. Tuesday Tea, enrolling people into your plan. Come on in here, say hi. Don't be a stranger. Let me know where you're watching me from. I see those comments rolling in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are catching this. All right. So if you don't want to miss, or you need to catch up, because the summertime is a great time to catch up on previous Tuesday Teas, you can hit that like, subscribe, and share over at the Christy Farmer on YouTube. So I love the last part of this book because he talks about enrolling people into your plan. So in the last chapter, not that we talked about, because I didn't go over every chapter in this book, but in the last chapter, he gives you a breakdown of writing your business plan. Now, what I like about this is you could apply these same steps to writing your life plan. All right. Like I feel like your life plan is just the way to operate with a plan is that you have to, I've been listening to Bob Proctor. All right. Drop the name Bob Proctor, Proctor. He has now passed away. God bless, rest his soul. But his legacy is definitely outliving him. And people who learn from him and been in trainings with him are now re-listening to him. And I'm listening to a compilation on Audible. The compilation I pulled up right now and let you know what it is if you want to listen to it too, because I'll be finishing it through this summer, like the end of this month, halfway through this month. But it is called The Ultimate Bob Proctor Library. So this is combining all of her, somebody just sent me a message telling me that their daughter just turned 4, but all of his important speeches into one log and one Audible broken down in chapters. And it's been amazing. I listen to it when I'm in the car. I'm not in the car very often, but when I am in the car, I listen to it. So I could be done with it if I was in the car more often, like some of you are with your commutes. Drop in the comments, how long is your commute to work every day? Some people do crazy commutes. Like the longest I did go downtown for trainings. I did a training at a conference this past weekend, and that was a 30-minute ride because it was on a weekend and like nobody was out at the time because it's in the weekends. Who gets out early in the morning but people who are headed to conferences like me? So this is rolling out the plan. So you have your business plan in the 12 building blocks that he talks about in this book with a mixture of logic and emotion. So you are ready now to get your logic and emotional plan together for success. And so he says, your goal here on page 246, your goal is to take everything you've written in the 12 building blocks and turn it into a presentation. I was like, oh, Terry dropped down. Her commute is only 5 minutes. You are lucky, honey. Count your blessings for that 5 minutes. That's saving gas, saving an electric charge for those of you who drive electric cars. But he says now you need to be able to have a presentation now, because I have had 12 years in a multi-level marketing direct sales business. This little paragraph, I'm going to go ahead and read the whole paragraph, so reminds me of why we have so much success in our businesses, or why I've had success, and why the people who have mentored me have had success, is because this is what they do. And this is why they've always expressed, like, do the presentations, do the presentations, do the presentations. And people who are not successful don't do the presentations. This paragraph right here explains why this works. But even if you're not an MLM, if you're never done direct sales, that no matter what your business plan, you still should be presenting to people. You just need to decide who the right people you are presenting to. So here it goes. It says your goal is to take everything you've written in the 12 building blocks and turn it into a presentation. You're not telling people about your plan. You're enrolling them in your plan. This is not a direct sales or MLM book, okay? This is just how the audacious few choose their enemies wisely for business planning. And he says that I chose the word intentionally because he has enrolling in italicized. Enlist sounds too militant. So you're not enlisting people into your dream. You're not enlisting people into your plan for your business. You're not enlisting people into your plan for your life, but you're enrolling them. Telling them is too dull. And enrolling means you are inviting them to buy in. Oh my goodness. When you have both emotion and logic covered, you don't have to sell. Oh, this is for everybody out here who's like, I don't do sales. I'm not good at sales. No. You're not selling. You simply have to share authentically to get people enrolled in your dream, in your plan, in your business, in whatever you are inspiring to do. Now, who are these people? So he says on page 246, right before this, he says, let's say, because your next step is to roll it out. So let's say you're a student who wants to drop out of school and start a business. The most important people you enroll are your parents. Maybe for the simple fact that they're your best shot at free room and board. So if you want to drop out of college as a high school student, or you want to drop out of, or you don't want to go to college as a high school student, and you want to just start a business, then the people who are going to help you at this vulnerable stage in your life as being a young adult with no money will be your parents. And so you should be enrolling them, not enlisting them, not telling them, but enrolling them into your plan. If you run a big business and you have to enroll everyone from investors to vendors to partners, if you're a sales leader, you have to enroll your team for sure. And you also need to enroll your boss, the one who allocates or gives you the resources. If you are a woman and you're married to a man who is your husband and you want to go start a business, you need to enroll your husband into your plan. Oh, that means for sure you need to have a plan. I've seen this in my 12 years in business of working with women in sales, that they sometimes have spouses who are not supportive of them going to start this business that is, in the husband's eyes, is going to take away time and take away money. And the reason they aren't gung-ho is because you haven't enrolled them in this dream. You don't have a plan. See, it may be a dream that you have, but the emotion is the dream. The logic is the plan. If you come to your spouse, or you come to your roommate, or you come to your parents with the emotions, the dream, but then you back it up with a plan, the logic, they are more than likely to enroll in your idea. I was like, genius. And so how do you enroll them in your idea, in your dream that's mixed with a plan, is with a presentation. You should be able to present to them your business plan. Now, in this book, he writes out the business plan on both sides where you have the logic. But then he says, he even gives you free tools. This is why it's good about a book. He says, on what page is this in? Page 250. It's called a one-page business plan. And you can find it in the appendix B. You can also download a PDF and watch a video at how to write a one-page business plan by going to chooseyourenemieswisely.com. So you got a big idea. You need to enroll your roommate, your spouse, your sales team on this big idea, and you need to write it out. You have a big business plan, or maybe you just want to do the small business plan. He's giving you the resource to do it right here. He says, if at any point you sense someone is feeling overwhelmed, ask them to fill out the one-page business plan instead. So if you're coaching a team, if you yourself are feeling overwhelmed with this plan that you have for your life and for your business, I was at a conference, speaking at a conference this last weekend, and I heard someone say, I'm so overwhelmed with all of this information. I'm so excited, but it's a little overwhelming. If I was her leader, then I would say, here, go to Choose Your Enemies Wisely, and let's do a one-page business plan that helps put your overwhelmed thoughts into a plan that helps your dream come true. That's the emotions plus the logic. I hope you guys are hearing me. This is a Tuesday tea I can put on replay all summer, baby. All right, so he says on page 246 of Choose Your Enemy Wisely, when we are enrolling people into our plan, our dreams that is mixed with a plan, your steps, once building blocks are assembled, your next 9 moves, he gives out 9 moves. Share it with one trusted person, ideally outside of your organization, to get feedback. So share your plan with one person, get some feedback. Edit and polish the plan. Rehearse it out loud until you have it down cold. Do you know when you go to a company meeting and someone has a vision, the leader has a vision, they have practiced this vision and they have it memorized. They have it plain. Make it plain so they can follow it, and then you can follow it as well. And then you set up meetings with key stakeholders. Now, what I like on page, I'm not going to go through all the 12 steps, but I like step number 4. It says, deliver a well-rehearsed presentation that balances, here we go again, logic and emotion. And then tell them why. First, tell them the why, then show them how. I know what I need to do really quickly. Let me edit this. So I can wrap this up and get out of here. So I can take Mila to go jump with some kids today. She's so excited. I was like, when I come back inside, I'm in my office out here. So when I come back inside, it's gonna be time to go. So I gotta make sure I'm on time to take her where we gotta go. All right, so deliver a well-rehearsed presentation. There is something that you want to launch right now, a business, an idea, and you do. The first question is, I ask, do you have a plan for it? Can you put your plan in a presentation so that others can understand it? They can see the why, and then they can see how they can help you carry out this plan. Does your husband know? Do your children know why you're doing this and how it's going to get done? They can jump on board and support you if they know these things. But people can't support and help. That's one of the things that you might see people complain. Now, of course, I will say this, in business, the people who are going to support you the most are going to be strangers, because you have what they need. You're offering something they need. Friends and family are maybe excited for you, but you're not offering, you're not, they may not be your niche market. They may not be your target audience, right? But they can help you with referrals to your target audience if they know why you're doing this and they know how. So for example, they may know why because you need money. All right. Or they may know why because you're passionate about saving a certain group of Americans, a certain audience of people. You're passionate about kids, or you're passionate about this nonprofit, or you're passionate about, so they understand the why, but they don't understand how to help you. What referrals to get, like you need to outline in black and white. Like, do you know somebody who owns a home in Texas? in Houston, in Texas, then give me their contact information so I can help them save money. You're being specific. All right. Or you could just say, I just need homeowners. But sometimes people are like, I don't know any homeowners. I need a homeowner that lives in your neighborhood, that lives around a corner from you, that works at your job. Somebody works at your job that is a homeowner, right? 247, he says, it's one thing to have he gives an example. It's one thing to have the recipe. You still have to procure, go and get the ingredients. Have the right equipment for your kitchen. So let's say you are spending your days writing out the most detailed meal plan or recipe for the week. All right, you have a meal plan or recipe for the week. It's great that you have the plan. That's like the business plan. It's the recipe. But although you have this amazing recipe for the best carrot cake muffin ever, that's what I made for breakfast today. I made a homemade carrot. It wasn't carrot cake muffin or carrot muffin. Oh my God, it was so good. And I have the recipe, but the recipe business plan means nothing without the ingredients. Either the people for the business plan, the funds, the product, the service, the presentation. Means nothing. So you still need to go get those things. You still have the right equipment, which may be the people to make this recipe. And then you have to cook the food, a place to cook the food, the products to cook the food. So not the ingredients, but the actual oven. All right. And then you have to do it all over again the next week. Now, he gives another example here in 247. So let's say the metaphor he's using is you have a uncarved block of granite. All right. So we go from baking in the kitchen to granite. And I don't know about you, but I think of countertops, right? I got to take this big old block and make it to a granite top. Now you have to sculpt it and refine it and bring it to life. You can't wing the rollout. To be the audacious few, to enroll people to support your plan. You can't wing it. You can wing it when it's just you. You can wing it when you want to win with just you, but you cannot wing it when you want to get other people on board. That's not what the audacious few do. So you will need to make sure you brought in before others will follow you. Let it sink in and make it make sense to you. Now, then he talks about on page 251, showing others how to write their plan. Ooh, okay. These are questions. I love these questions. If you're following me right now, if you're catching the replay, these are questions that are going to be great for you. When it gives an example of a sales team. So you're working with salespeople understand numbers. And I was like, oh, this is so true, because I'm just going to go ahead and buy into it. I'm a salesperson. I know how to sell things, right? But I know how to sell things because I do love numbers. And he said, so you're working with somebody who loves numbers, and these are questions you ask them. How much do you want to make next year? Okay. Ding, I got it in my head. This is how much I want to make next year. Well, how much did you want to make last year? Ding, got it in my head how much I want to make last year. So what do you have to do differently? If you had a number last year and you have a number this year, assuming those numbers are different and the one this year is higher, you can't do the exact same thing you did last year to make more money this year. So what do you have to do differently this year to get the results that you want that are greater than last year's results? That's literally all somebody would need to ask me, because I'm sales minded, to be able to make a plan. And this is what they're saying. You can ask a person. Now, he said, in a perfect world, you can get as many people as you can to create a plan for the year. Your kids, your family members, your assistant, your vendors. In fact, supporting others in this process is a great way to make them feel better and gain goodwill as a relative, friend, and colleague. Then he talks about timing and sequencing, and then selling the plan. When you deliver the plan, makes a difference. What will create the most excitement? Sometimes you need to get away with your team. So in some cases, he's rented mansions in Palm Springs, California. I've been there. They took our leadership team to Palm Springs, California. So a different scenery, which is why for a company I'm a part of where I sell accessories, we do leadership trips in all different places. The leadership trip next year is in Bali. I'm going to be there in Bali for free. And they always, at the leadership training or conference or weekend or week away, because it's like a full week in Bali, they come with a plan. And so a new atmosphere away from our daily kids and responsibilities allows us to put their plan in action for us to reach our goals because we're away from our distractions. So this part, it says on 255, decide on the reward together. This is so funny because I went to a training. I've been listening to Bob Proctor, and this is literally a combination of the training that I went to this weekend that I was one of the speakers for in my solar business. And this is literally what they were talking about is that, and we have a mentorship, a millionaire mentorship call on Sundays. And he said very simply, my mentor, my leader is make a decision. Decide today, what is it that you want? Decide today the results. You can't be teetering and tottering because then your way you move teeters and totters, and then your results teeters and totters. Wavers, doesn't stick. So you have to decide today what it is you want to happen and what time frame, and then you go after because then you won't, no, because you know you made a decision that you are going to do this. So he says decide, and this is part of the decision, is decide your reward. How are you going to reward yourself when you hit your goal and your plan? So here he says on 255, decide on the rewards together. As a leader, there's always a delicate balance of gathering input and then making your own decisions. For example, when it comes to creating a work from home policy, that has to come from you. Sure, you may solicit opinions independently and consult with people, but this is not the type of thing you want to bring to a vote. You just have to, you make a decision for your family that this is where we are going to be when it comes to our mindsets. This is where we're going to be when it comes to the cleanliness of our house. This is the decision that I'm not getting buy-in. Like, this is what it's going to be. I am the leader of this house. I am the leader of this team. Decision is made. As a result of this decision, this is the rewards that we're going to give. As our household, this is the reward. As our sales team, this is the reward. You're getting people to dream. You're putting them in a place to visualize success. And you don't promise them, it says right here, of course you don't promise 2 McLarens if you can't afford them, but unless you're in a business where margins are razor thin, you love nothing better than to see a couple on your team do a $65 million in a year in revenue. It's also great places for challenges. When people declare their goals and others doubt them, it's the perfect time to tell them to put their money where their mouth is. They start making bets and you get to play whatever role you want. If a team A beats team B, I'll buy 3 pairs of Louis Vuittons or Ferragamos for everyone. And the losing team has to shine them. And then holding people accountable. One of the things he asks is, you may hate me. He say, when you are holding someone accountable, you may use this phrase, you may hate me now, but you'll love me 20 years from now. So he gives on page 257, he says, rate how well you do the following from 1 to 5. How well do you build relationships? How well do you inspect what you expect? Oh my goodness, that was something when I taught, was a teacher, and I was moving to a coaching role. That's one of the things that my mentor at the time would say, you inspect what you expect. If you expect people to make a list of 100 people, inspect it, check in on, see if they got done. If you expect them to reach out to those people, check in and see if they got it done. Give deadlines and hold people accountable. So true. It's good for kids too. Give them a deadline and hold them accountable. Develop mindsets. This is why so many coaching teams, so many leadership teams have a mindset Monday. Set the mindset for the week and then lead from the front. This is true for a household. This is true in business. These principles apply to anything that we want to get better in life. I brought this whole couch over here so I can get comfortable. I'm not even comfortable. Let me get comfortable. This is not the most comfortable spot in this futon. Oh, that's better. Okay. Now let's continue. All right. It says, instill a competitive environment. People out there saying, I'm not competitive. Well, if you've never been competitive in your life and you are not where you want to be, then that's part of the reason why. There has to be some level of competition. People say keeping up with the Joneses, as if it's a bad thing. But see, I don't think anything is wrong with keeping up with the Joneses, as long as that doesn't get you in debt. As long as that doesn't put you in a bad predicament. If you want to keep it with the Joneses, but you're going to say, I'm going to get this and it's going to be debt free, there's nothing wrong with that. If that is the competitiveness you need to get it done. But this is choosing your enemies wisely. This is only the things that the audacious few do. I will tell you, I've been in rooms with people who will say, being competitiveness is now. I'm not saying, I do agree competitiveness is not good when it is causing you not to be able to collaborate. You must be able to collaborate. A group of great minds working together for a goal is better than only your mind. So the competitiveness should not get in the way of, I'm not working with them, or I'm not helping them, or I'm not sharing ideas with them. No, not that kind of competitive. But a competitive in that, like, I talked to 10 people today and changed their life. How many you talk to? Oh, you talked to 10? Bet. Let me go talk to more. Okay, that's good competitiveness, because the end result is that everyone wins and more people's lives are changed, more people are being helped. But these are things that building relationships, inspecting what you're giving deadlines and holding people accountable. It says on 257, it starts and ends with the leader. Business plans and startup businesses have much in common. People get caught up in the details, the presentation, the technology, but what matters most are the people. Harvard Business School published a working paper called How Do Venture Capitalists Make Decisions? Here's a snippet from the abstract. And I'm not going to read that. It's on page 257. You need to read it. All right. Now that you know how prepared you are, I want you to shift your attention to getting the best out of others. That is why you need to get this book. This book covers it all. Today was enrolling people into your plan. First, you got to have a plan. Then you have to know your plan, and you have to be able to present it to others. And once you're able to present it to others, you're enrolling people into your plan, and then you can be part of the audacious few. As always, thank you so much for joining me in here with the Tuesday Tea with me. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe, and follow me over on YouTube. This is the summertime. I am going to go back because one of the books this is the next book I'm reading. And if you're my After Tuesday Tea group, I said I would be willing to, it's called Selling Boldly, Applying the New Science of Positive. It was very eye-opening because I had this in Audible. And then they were sharing things to do. And I was like, I need to have that in black and white. So I bought the book too. But on the Audible, he was saying that he went to school to be a psychologist. And the whole thing that what they're taught as psychologists is all of the negative things about psychology, like the mental issues that people have, right? But they were never taught. There's a new training that is put into the psychology program. Now, they're never taught the positive side, like what positivity, putting it in front of you, believing it, can do for your mindset. So it dramatically increases your confidence, happiness, and sales. So if you're like, I'm selling boldly, like, if you need to sell yourself on a better life, this book is you. If you're like, I don't do sales. If you want increased confidence, this book is for you. If you want increased happiness, this book is for you. And those things will also lead to increased sales. You are selling people every day of your life. I don't care what job you do. Drop your career, drop your industry, drop your job, and I can tell you, I can reply to your job and tell you how you sell to people every single day. I'm a teacher. I sold I was a teacher. I'm always an educator, but I was a classroom teacher, and I sold to kids every day. That I showed them the importance. The way that we're taught to open up a lesson is to relate what we are learning about today to something in their lives. Now, that could be a lesson I taught last week, so I'm relating today to what they learned last week. The most effective way is relating it to something in their life now that they can grasp, like a second grader can grasp the concept of they need to know how to be able to add, or that second grade, they're probably learning this early stages of multiplying, so that when they, plant, or when they're playing, or when they're trying to get their parents to buy them a toy or something, they understand the multiplication effect. Okay. So you relate to something that's important to them, and that catches their attention and says, oh, I need to pay attention to this because that's important to me. And if it's important to me, I need to learn this so I can be better at this, right? I was selling it to them. Then as a coach of teachers, I had to sell to teachers why it was important to apply this concept to their class. Now, it can be different things, like you want to keep your job, you want to have some teachers want to have the highest test scores. Well, then this is why that's important. I had to apply that. As an assistant principal, it wasn't just to the teachers, but it was to the stakeholders. I had to sell the parents and the students and the teachers and the businesses in the local area on why they should donate and give to our school. So as a parent, I tell to my teenager all the time the importance of doing these things that she thinks are not important. And I have to relate it to her. So confidence, happiness, selling boldness. This is the book that I'm currently reading, and I'll be sharing tidbits with the After Tuesday Tea group in my group chat. And that's it. I hope you enjoy your summer. I hope you join my Facebook group. I hope you like and subscribe to stay connected, because I'm always dropping gems. The one thing I can say is you can't be around me and me not make you a better person, as long as you open up your mind to the possibility that you can be greater, live greater, have greater, and make a greater difference. Love ya. Bye.